Hey, officer, got a minute. Well, you want to talk to me? Sure, bud. Let's go.
I, saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble?
The racist told us where Kevid is. We only searched it.
Still better than me, I guess. Told you there's plenty of others who'd tell on her. But, is she in trouble?
No trouble. She's gotta be fine.
Oh man, that's like a load off my mind. All that stress was messing up my rhymes.
He chooses to believe what's best for her.
What's the plan with those rhymes anyway?
Oh, you know. Tommy Laham's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang, but with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft.
The correct grammar is Tommy Lahom.
Why Tommy Lahom?
Tommy Laham was taken. My real name's Jerry Lafitte. Tommy's way better.
It's more him.
I had another question for you.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Come on, baby. Rhyme at him. Rap!
Your
Damn
best
it.
verse. You don't even have a bad verse in here. Just tumbleweed and liquor stains. Wait, no. What are you doing?
She broke me. She fucking broke me.
That's brutal, man. But you know, time will...
No, stop. He's already mortified.
No, Tommy. Listen, these are my rhymes. She fucked me till I bled. God damn it.
That's,
Am I still dying over here? No, we're okay.
In the name of God, what are you doing?
It's not real, guys. Calm down. Kim, Tommy, please. It's a poem.
Yeah, I get that, and it's cool, but...
I will never be the same again. She's always there. Fuck the case. Fuck everything. Total doom.
Yeah, I get it. These are your rhymes. They're from your life. Doesn't matter if they're robust, they're honest. So, thanks, man.
Thank you, Tommy. You're an artist and you understand art.
He's not lying. He liked the end.
Yes, and I also thank you for stopping. We have a drug investigation to return to. How about we do that?
Kim, please. Kim. I could be a musician, Kim. Come on. Gotta support me, Kim. You're my partner. Oh, I'm gonna pass that check at some point. Can't believe you didn't like my dope-ass rhymes. Boop-a-doo, boop-a-doo. We could go to the docks, but... Oh, hell, $3! Good lord! That's big money, so on the... Oh my god! Some serious cashola here. You hear distant traffic. Night is falling on the city. A maroon glow of light pollution rises from the east. Smoking man.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from a cigarette.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
We got you a hint. Found the key right under that stone.
Beautiful.
He replies, smiling. As he looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
Honestly, I'm just trying not to screw anything up.
Beautiful.
He says again. A nearby street lamp casts shadows on his chin, drawing out the slender cheekbones.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
By the way, I'm really digging the view here.
Mm-hmm. That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it?
Wait. Suddenly you are digging things?
The lieutenant whispers to you, shaking his head. Very well, I'll talk to him, but first I want to talk to you. I have so many questions.
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark, and the neighboring windows have lit up, one by one.
Besides, I've got to run.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
Go if you must. I don't care. I don't care about people leaving me all the time. But I just found you again.
Just look at it. It's a beautiful night. Who's going to stay in on a night like this?
A man on high heels stumbles out of a basement club, music blasting over the entire district. It's chilly, and as the chemicals hit his nervous system, 1,000 shivers ripple through his body.
Only if you promise that we'll talk again. It's important.
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not tonight.
We want to ask you on a date.
Take care, all right?
New skill points.
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
There's something so different about him that I just can't put my finger on.
Different, of course.
Something so mysterious about the way he talks, the way he moves.
Something so mysterious about the way he talks.
Very mysterious, Kim.
Very. Come on, detective.
Well, there was just a little bit of room tone
potential
there.
witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
He nods at the apartment door before you. Alright, I have 2 skill points now, I believe. I'm gonna put 1 into another internalized thoughts. But I won't choose that thought just yet. Just want to make sure I can start learning something new. Quarterly Business Magazine. An old photo of the same apartment, dated year 01. Party Dragon Silk Robe. Oh, baby, take. Buckets of paints on a layer of old newspaper. Oh, yes. Conical hat. An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. Dishes soaked up in a pot. An empty ashtray. It wasn't fresh. Actually, it looks like it would be fresh paint, but we specifically require motor oil from our car. Special red-dyed fuel from our vehicle. It's the only thing we'll agree to paint with. God damn it. Well, I have to wear some of these new clothes. Oh no. Kim, I look amazing. Holy shit. Kim, would you do me? I would do me.
You have acquired the hat. Keep it, officer. It looks good on you. My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-la-Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot.
Before we get to that, tell me, where you got this beautiful silk robe from?
Oh, we got it from an atelier in the East Delta Commerce Center. Personally, I think it's a little culturally insensitive, but the material is great. Sadly, the shop is now out of business.
I love that I can wear it off one shoulder in a sensual way.
That's really all I can tell you.
Very flirtatious. He forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
You actually witnessed the lynching.
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
Yeah, it shows off that party mesh. Start from the beginning if you don't mind.
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening.
How many drugs were you on?
I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood I should not be seeing this.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective.
How many of them were there?
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
Good
The
answer.
lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
Were any of them huge, like 200 kilograms huge?
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell.
All right, what happened
I
next?
went back inside.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man.
Were they men? Women?
All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
But we are fairly certain the lady driver was present.
Are you sure at least one of them wasn't a woman?
It's possible, officer, but I cannot say with certainty. It was very dark, you must remember.
And what happened next?
Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
What do you mean nothing happened? They lynched a guy!
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
You're right, that does seem strange.
I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late.
So let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself, did you?
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
Well, those are all my questions. Thanks for your time.
Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM.
And what's an official like you doing in Martinaise?
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what are you doing here in this apartment?
Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
Enough business. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you wish, officer.
What can you tell me about your mysteriously sexy friend?
My friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
You still haven't told me who he is and how he's so sexy.
Sorry. Who?
The man throws a quick glance at his watch. Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We were just talking about it.
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
So all you can tell me is that he's here to study the arts.
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
Which arts?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
How do you two even become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
What the hell are you talking about? No one becomes friends that
Au
way.
contraire. It's how millions of people end up where they are. Meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too.
Okay, but what are you doing in his apartment? By yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
Enjoying the view? There's a dead body hanging in that tree.
A dead body we still need to get down, by the way.
Well, we tried, Kim. You shot the body, I shot the body. What more can we do, Kim?
Listen.
He says, raising his hand. What? I'm not hearing anything.
The Insulindian Bay.
What about it?
This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen.
Would you describe some of these arts as mystic, dark even?
But the million real view stays. You can't take that away.
He knocks on the balcony door, his face mirrored in the darkened glass. I was asking about your friend.
My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee.
A busy bee? What an odd choice of words.
I had something else in mind.
I'm all ears, officer.
That's all I have. Goodbye.
A moment, officer.
God damn it.
Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Hold on, why can't we talk later?
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
I'm not going anywhere. I just want to take a look around the apartment.
Sure. Go ahead. It's a beautiful space. Let me know if you have any further questions. Was there anything else? My friend.
Well, that's the only other question.
What about him? Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
Smokey's part of the drug trade? I don't think he is.
That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
But that doesn't tell me anything about Kedra itself. Is it warm there? Cold? Something between?
It's warm. It's also known for its mandarin trees and dust storms from Supramundi. Kedra's an emerging market, but it still has a long way to go. Maybe that's why my friend's menage decided to immigrate. I'm all ears, of course.
Okay, goodbye. That was completely useless. That man had nothing for us. Come on, Kim. We should go talk to Boat Lady. Maybe she'll give me another $100. Also, I want to talk to, I drank my whole water bottle. I gotta pee again. I want to talk to Scary Lady. BRB.
Give me a moment.
No new dialogue. Okay, goodbye. Come along, Kim.
Hello again, officers.
Damn.
Have you come to admire my mural?
Goodbye. I should try and change my clothing to be advantageous for certain checks every once in a while. We certainly have a good range of clothes now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Shadows on the water, green plants under the calm surface.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Do you know anything about these tattoos?
That's the man who was killed.
She almost takes the
I'm afraid
phone.
this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Why? How is you looking at the photo tied to the lynching?
Better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
Got more questions about reality.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Come on, reach for something fundamental. 97% chance now.
What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air.
What world is this?
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
Say nothing.
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough.
She concludes.
There is a term of endearment they coined for it, in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
Elysium. The world needs a term of endearment.
It does. There are those who would call it hell.
What is hell?
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
I've definitely not got a clear picture yet.
Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
How come?
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
Inside, sideways. What shape is this world?
We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
Oh my god, it's flat, isn't it?
ORG. Occident Revichol-Grad.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
A dark grey Corona beer, you said?
Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
A cold fear seeps into you.
Oh my god, wait, what the hell are you telling me?
You seem to be spooked. Please don't be.
Her voice becomes honest, homely, calm. She lets a moment pass. The pale? What do you mean, Corona?
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness.
What?
I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here.
It's a bit more sci-fi than I thought it was going to
But
be.
this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound.
Okay, and then everything will be okay?
I don't know about things of that scale. My expertise lies in nations and trade routes, one or several layers below everything. But yes, we'll be fine. Don't worry.
She does not seem convinced that you'll be fine. If anything, she's realizing how deep your condition runs.
Thanks, okay.
You may have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Well, if you say it's disco.
See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both, silently. He adjusts his glasses.
Come on, baby. Come on.
It remains a
Damn it.
mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
You said pale. What is pale?
The Pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. Remember, we have a cadaver to attend to.
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try something else.
What do you mean it's not part of reality?
Ma'am, remember you are dealing with a very sensitive and impressionable police officer who is still recovering from a recent medical episode.
Damn it, Kim!
The Lieutenant's right. Let's change topics. What do you want to know? Anything.
You could sneak back later when the lieutenant is not here, unless you can convince him to step aside.
Kim, step aside for a moment.
Is what you want to do. But should you? He expressly stated you shouldn't hear about it. What if it renders you mad? Or catatonic? Or makes you lose your memory again?
Yes?
I would love to pass this one. I think this is like the last one. That's all
Glad
for
to
now.
have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
I've spoken with Everett Clare.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
But pale is a byproduct of novelty. What? He is not the champion I've chosen. I wish to spare his fealty to the cause of the capital. I didn't.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually...
There's a diagram, it's canon. She answers her own question.
Corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, worm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth.
She looks at the ground and nods.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt worm myself.
Worm.
However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
I like Joyce.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
Every time Horrific Necktie shows up, I'm not prepared. He has the best voice in the game. Good lord. Mr. Everett's helping me find my gun.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
The lieutenant looks at you, and you can swear his jaw muscle is trembling. When I said, be wacky, I didn't mean wildly, grossly irresponsible and damaging to the RCM.
That's all part of the plan, Kim.
Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this, to gauge their reactions.
See, he knows, he knows, he knows.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun?
No.
Well, maybe he's not as helpful as you thought then. Is there anything else?
That money you gave me, would that make things weird if I shared information I mean?
Weird? Oh no. One of the positive things to come from the revolution is the unhindered exchange of information, you see. Even when it comes to trade secrets. Which isn't to suggest our talks constitute corporate espionage. Even if they did, it would be fine. But they don't, since you logged the money as a donation, and this is clearly just gossip between friends.
Oh, right, yes, logged.
The lieutenant might have, but I don't remember you logging anything as anything, Harry.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
Well, actually, you know what? That borscht thing might actually be fun. I helped him turn the heat up on the borscht.
Did you now?
The cook makes
What
it
sort
to...
of borscht is he making?
The cook makes it to keep the strikers drunk. Helps them strike.
The strike brew. That's a classic. And by turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more alcohol in it?
She won't tell us anything about the tattoos yet, but I think once we bust this drug thing open with her, she'll tell us more.
Why, if I may ask? Why make them more drunk? Aren't they corked enough already?
Yes, Detective. What were you hoping to accomplish with this strange thing?
I worship Al Ghul in many ways. An act born of sympathy for the working man. I set fires to the fumes of struggle. It's uninteresting. I thought it would make the broth taste better.
Very curious. A very curious thing to do.
Or it would make people more talkative. That's what I wanted to say there.
Truly. But that's how he operates. He just does things, man. And then talks about them. Even if it's inappropriate.
What are you talking about, Kim?
A strange equanimity has overtaken the lieutenant. He's just going with the flow now. Easier that way.
What else? Of course, Detective. Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Wait, where exactly are these eyes located?
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
Oh, a bath.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
What was that about a bloodbath?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
I've already heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike, but I need your testimony.
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
Momentary lapse of faith, you say?
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
Do you need a security detail?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
Well, that sounds positively terrible.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the Colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
What then?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
For now?
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
Oh no.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
Oh boy, that is not good.
It's not good, no. My only hope is that you provide a single concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put...
She grabs hold of the mainsail.
If you don't pin this on someone good, and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
The Debardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's 2nd largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours.
You watch this for fun?
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. As I said, a bloodbath.
Isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you're describing?
Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court. and I may be able to defuse this situation.
You said the deceased assaulted a woman.
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
What do these teenagers by the canal say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place? And when?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
And who was this woman?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
You meet her soon enough, you feel.
This colonel, the one who was hanged, did you know him?
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. But I did not know him.
And his name was...
Lely. His service name. A nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Tell me about the others first.
One is a man. Corty, they call him. A nickname as well. The other a woman. Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
What would you say was his eye color, the deceased's?
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
Hard to say, Mighty Odin, hard to say.
I can't remember.
Pang of regret in her voice.
The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first to see if she knew him better than she let on.
That's all right, man. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
What else? Nationality? Accent?
Yeah, and she has basically disappeared from then on.
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Where are the remaining 2 mercs now?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Man, no one recognizes our authority. We still don't know where they are.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Where are these mercenaries?
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbor gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
One must be the goon in ill-fitting work clothes by the harbor gates, the scab leader.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
That's the title of the movie.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg. Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
The other's probably in a building overlooking the roundabout.
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
I've seen her up there, and I've been trying to figure out how to get up there and talk to
Where
her.
is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel. I hope I can answer it better.
What can you tell me about Crenell?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Down a deep, black well.
That's a good video game. I like Downwell.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Oh no. Okay, anything else you got on them?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources.
She thinks.
If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell.
Could you contact the company? Tell them to call him off.
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
How much time do you think we have?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob, and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
There's a brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay.
5 days, not more. Maybe sooner.
It's a matter of days, not weeks. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
What can you tell me about these tattoos?
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
She reaches over the guard wire and takes the photo, holds it in her hand.
For about half a minute, in silence.
It was taken with a Trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Stay quiet. Observe the woman's expression.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
Oh yes, Mega. This game is incredible. What do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars.
She points to what on the photo paper?
I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Like stars in the sky.
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
What travels did this dead man take?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Seminese Islands, then this.
She points to his heart. What is that?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
What's the use of this map?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Oh, good thing he had that.
Where is he now?
I've spoken to him. For now, the soul is fastened inside the corpse.
That is precisely what the sailors feared when they drew these maps. A fear of drowning within one's own corpse.
Who can tell me more about these tattoos?
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
Surely there are other people to ask about the tattoo. This is not necessary to complete the task, officer. It's a dangerous side task. Search elsewhere.
You're right, not a good idea.
I am relieved you think so. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security.
That's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
More reality
More
questions.
lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
A spirit de corps. I might put a point into that and try again.
Glad to have been a...
But first, I'm going to put on every piece of clothing that gives me a spirit de corps points. Which is going to be none of them. Oh, there's one. Alright, that's everything I could put on for a spirit de corps. Alright.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality?
72%,
My
come
favorite
on!
part of the day.
6
Yeah.
kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
She says energetically. The Revachol Citizens Militia.
Preciso mundo.
Good. And what is the Revachol Citizens Militia?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
He's being sarcastic.
You said de facto.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
All 3 are good to know when we are out policing.
So I'm basically one of the good guys. So I'm basically going to avoid the subject and ask the next question in this line of inquiry. I'm basically one of the good guys.
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it.
She leans in.
Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you.
Why? I'm lovable.
The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Revacholians get to keep the peace in Revachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Thank you, ma'am.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
That's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Have we gotten this one out of the way now? No, we still have to talk about the pail. The pail. We gotta ditch Kim first. Come on, Kim. Oh. It's like, what the hell is that? In theory, we can say we're going to bed, have Kim go to bed, and then leave. And, you know, give a child some drugs. We keep half, of course. And also ask her about the pail. Whoa, but first...
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
What was it? Oh yeah, I wanted to do a background check. Have you heard back from the ICP about the serial number?
No, and I doubt they'll get back to me before tomorrow morning. Anything else?
I'm done with the radio for now.
57's over and out.
In the cabin, you
Prove your authority to Titus. Hardy Boys about drug trade. Ask other people about the tattoos. Put the clothes in the trash. I still don't have a reality lowdown? Oh, I feel like I've talked to her about everything. Oh, they left money. Nice. Yeah, maybe after the pail. Oh yeah, no, the game is dense as heck. Gart, my man!
Can I help you?
About my bill for tonight, Gart.
20 real.
Come on, man, it's late. Do I really have to pay you again?
The breath catches in his chest. The light in his eyes snuffs out all at once. After a moment, he speaks.
Do you have money tonight?
Yes, I do.
Then you really don't need a free room, do you?
He shakes his head and stops as a strange, new, cruel light rekindles in his features.
Here comes a layup, sire. Fall not for it.
But you know what? You're in luck, because you don't have to ever pay me again.
You're fucking with me, aren't you, Gart?
Not at all, officer. It's true. You don't have to pay me anything. You don't have to give me any money at all. If you want a room, yes, you'll need to pay me, but you don't have to just give me money. Giving me money for a room is your choice.
Okay, I don't want to talk about this right now, Gart.
Anything else you need?
About my bill for tonight,
20
Gart.
real.
Here's your fucking blood money.
You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Goddamn leech. Ready to have your cigarette, Kim?
Yes?
Not very hobo-cop. I mean, eventually I'm gonna run out of money. We're gonna end up sleeping on the streets one night. Good night, Kim. Sucker! We got him, we got him! Now let's go do some unscrupulous things. Ha ha! Hey, kid. boy turns to you. He doesn't care. I took care of the drug situation, Kuno.
Alright, so you got Kuno's kilo. Here is how we do it. First, you give Kuno Kuno's kilo, then Kuno gives you half back. That's how we split it. It's the best way. Street way.
By kilo, you mean gram, right?
Kuno knows what Kuno means.
Kuno means gram.
All right, fair is fair.
Wow, that's heavy.
He slips it in his coat pocket.
There you go. More than half in there. Kuno's fucking honourable like that. Now tell me, how the fuck are you still alive, pig?
It's not the easy life you got going on in that apartment.
The fuck do you know about Kuno's life? Kuno's got plans. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we got plans.
6 meters underground, below piping from before the war, the collapsed remains of the Martinez storm drain system. There are 2 stolen flashlights with piles of batteries next to them, beside 2 bedrolls, in the dark and opening into the lower tunnels.
There are tons of unpaid utility bills there.
Fuck right there were. Fucking 3 years or some shit.
That's no place to live in. You have to find somewhere else.
That's right. It's a shithole. Kuno's gonna move underground. Leroy shit. Ancient shit. Kuno's gonna live in a fucking catacomb.
Yeah, in a tomb, Kuno.
All right. Yeah, Kim's great. And thank you. Let's conclude this business, Kuno.
Yeah, pig. This shit is done. Now get the fuck out of Kuno's face. Kuno needs to drop the bomb.
Okay, I'm
Kuno
off.
Doesn't...
Goodbye, Kuno. I'm glad I was able to give you drugs.
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
All right, you 2 sociopaths have fun underground living in a fucking catacomb or whatever. I got other stuff I gotta worry about, such as doing drugs and smoking cigarettes. Very important stuff. Where are these drugs? Where are my drugs? Pen. Handkerchief. Where are my drugs at? Gorsy's brew. Ah, speed bottle. Good, good. Shouldn't do them now, because I'm pretty sure I will die instantly if I do that. I don't have morale to spare at the moment. I went the wrong way again. Kim doesn't need to know about these little late-night dalliances. This is a secret between me and the town. Nothing wrong with that.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Now that we're alone, what is Pale?
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant.
Yes, what is the Pale?
Okay. The Pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the inter-islary mass.
Okay, what is this Pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
Yeah, I know I gotta go raccoon eyes, don't worry. It's my family's calling. All of us in my family have rings in our eyes.
The negation of being.
The negation of...
That's right. The negation of being.
She tightens her hood around her neck. It's cold outside. If we're surrounded by Pale, how do we get from Isola to Isola?
Oh, it is so difficult for us. It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged.
Is it here?
No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isola.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
And there.
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the Pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the Pale is called Porch Collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist. Cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism. A mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
What are its physical qualities?
It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension. Right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
The Pale, it can damage the mind.
Extensively.
How so?
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Who says and who argues?
It's a bizarre little thread in the game. Who says and who argues?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue.
And what does this over-radiation feel like?
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
It's more for her. Way more.
You're not a civilian passenger.
No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I am a member of the Entropanetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually.
Yeah, she is really good.
Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well. The strange
SCP
woman in her lorry.
Do lorry drivers pass the Pale?
Yes. Carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
You should ask the Pale driver about this. See what she says. That poor woman must have stories to tell, like you wouldn't imagine.
Are you overradiated?
Up to my gills, officer.
What is entropanetic?
Entropanetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of Grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
They had not traveled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian Super Isola. It was not merely in the west, it was everywhere, even then, surrounding them.
Did they cross it, the Western Plain?
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years.
What has entropanetics changed then?
Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later.
It is a very crazy world, yeah. Aerostatic crafts.
Hybrid airships, Detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near pale to far pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely.
What if we don't throw them precisely?
Then they don't.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
How much pale is there compared to the reality of the world?
The pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping.
Oh, slipping how? To our detriment, or...?
What do you think, Detective?
It's growing. There's more and more of the pale.
Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists.
Well, cover everything. That can't be. Where would we go?
Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
Off we go into the wild pale yonder.
One and all. They say pale is death, but for the universe.
Why should we just leave, and the world get left behind?
Let's return to reality, please.
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, Detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
I'm getting a sense of who I am, but no, I didn't know this.
Beyond curious. Tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
The advance can only be stopped with immediate, total, ruthless communism. Just alcohol, fuels, and blackout. That we continue to persist at all is a testament to our faith in one another.
Mm-hmm.
She observes you, your bloodshot eyes and swollen face.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
All these people will die! This investigation will be my masterpiece. The one they remember me by, I promise.
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
I'll be wrapping up very soon. I gotta go find Dindins. Hold on to him. Into the late night. What was the RCM again?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body. Yes, that means not de jure. Permit me to conclude with this.
There we go.
Who you are to me, and if those authorities glad to have been of assistance.
Surely now I've done it.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere.
Oh, thank you, Mega. That's because I keep saying none of the above to political stuff, isn't it?
It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin. But something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
First, where is this Kingdom of Conscience?
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times.
They're both good cops, Sally. They could be the same cop if we try. How do you bring about those circumstances?
In incrementally. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment.
Okay, but what's the Kingdom of Conscience actually like?
The kingdom is difficult to comprehend, and even more difficult to describe. Partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The Kingdom of Conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual.
That sounds incredible. Alonzi, let's go there right now.
Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow?
Oh, right. Then let's get there. Eventually.
That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy
we made nearly the same character, same decision.
Time from now, we are all going to be so much happier.
Kingdom of Conscience. -2 half-life. Calm water. Heartache is powerful, but democracy is subtle. Incrementally, you will begin to notice a change in the weather. When it snows, the flakes are softer when they stick to your worry-worn forehead. When it rains, the rain is warmer. Democracy is coming to the administrative region. The ideals of DeLorean humanism are reinstating themselves. How can they not? These are the ideals of the Coalition and the Moralists International. Those guys are signal blue. And they're not only good, they're also powerful. What will it be like once their nuanced plans have been realized? I have 3 skill points. -1, head in the clouds. I'm kind of interested in White Morning. Confusing behavior. You see, Jamrock Shuffle sounds excellent. And opening containers? Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think we're going to internalize the Jamrock Shuffle. I might get rid of Mazovian socioeconomics, because it gives you 2 minuses, and the only bonus is if I spout extreme left-wing dialogue options, I get a little bit of bonus experience. But this one's good. Hobocop is great, no problems there. Volumetric shit compressor was obviously good. Rigorous self-critique is amazing. Yeah, yeah. The only real problem is this one. Good night, Nara. Like I said, I'll be wrapping up very soon too. I might forget this one. Or maybe I won't. It would open up another slot. But for right now, I think I would like to start internalizing the Jamrock Shuffle. Yeah, yeah. We still have 2 points. So we could forget something, we could open up another slot, we have multiple skill points we could get. Good stuff. But for right now, let's head back to the hotel, because it's almost midnight. And I will probably, and by probably I mean I will definitely, start wrapping up the stream. Because I gotta go find food. Actually, let's go turn in some bottles. Get a little bit of extra money, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking about maybe confronting the scab leader, but it's probably a terrible idea if Kim's not around. Also, they're probably all, you know, yeah, they're all gone. They're not here right now. Damn it, convenience store's closed, never mind. Alright, bedtime for our detective friend. Except, I'm sure fun stuff will happen when I hit the go to bed button, so we won't hit that till next time. Save game. This game is amazing.